What's up, YouTube? Caleb Eubanks here, Good Music Choice. Gonna keep going in my Kiss solo album part of my reviews. Like I said, I'm doing these in order of least favorite to favorite. My first one, obviously, was Paul Stanley's. It's my least favorite Kiss solo album. My next least favorite, it's actually, I want to say this before I go into these reviews. I guess you know whose are next. Genes and Aces are next. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what order they're in. You know which one I like better and which one's my number one. I'm going to save that for the review. But what I'm going to say that is, from Peter's own, I like them. I love them. I could listen to them any day and be happy with them. I'm going to go ahead and get started in Peter's. A little story behind this album. This album, before I ever listened to it, was only played one time. One time. It is in immaculate condition. I mean, there's some wear right there, but that's just from having it in a crate for years and years and years. My dad bought this, all four of them, the day they came out, and he only listened to Peter's one time. He was my dad's least favorite member, probably my favorite member of Kiss, in my opinion. I've listened to this album quite a bit since I've had it, but this album is in immaculate condition. Like it just came out, and I don't want to put my fingerprints on it. That they wash away. That's how in pristine condition this is right there. Anyway, let's get into it. I love this album, and you will hear me talk the next albums that I do in the solo. I love those too. This album is amazing, everybody. Seriously. If you're not a Peter Criss fan, you're not really going to like it. I mean, there are a lot of people who don't like this album. This album is not being listened to so much. It's still hard to get in and out. It doesn't even come out easy like the new records do. They kind of hold in there good. This album right here is great. Okay, Peter Criss was was left off the radar a lot with his music, and I think that this album really has some merit to it. I'm Gonna Love You, great song, love that song. You Matter to Me, great song, it's on right now. Tossing and Turning, which was the lead single, I believe, on there. It's okay. It's okay. It's a decent song. It's not my favorite. He kind of overplayed it on a lot of his solo stuff, his solo tours and everything like that. Don't You Let Me Down, my favorite song on the album. It is amazing. I'm telling you, this does not sound like Kiss, and that is what I love about this album. You know, the other ones, Paul's especially, he tried to sound like Kiss. He tried too hard. And this is a solo album because it doesn't sound like Kiss. Don't You Let Me Down, hands down, my favorite song on the album. My favorite Peter Criss song ever. And I'm glad it's on his solo album because it gives me a chance to go back and revisit this thing sometimes. I've got it on the remasters also, obviously. That's the kind of Sugar Papa likes. Love that song. Very jazzy, very upbeat. Being a drummer like I am, you know, I respect a lot of what he does musicianship-wise on that song. Easy Thing, love that song. Great song. Rock Me Baby, it's a decent song. I could do without it. Kind of a filler track on this, I believe. Kiss the Girl Goodbye, great song. Love that song. Hooked on Rock and Roll, I don't know how I feel about that song. It's maybe it probably could have been left off the album. I Can't Stop the Rain. Great song, great closing song for this record. Obviously, you'll see in my next era of reviews that I do for Kiss, not the solo albums, but the band albums. After these, the direction they went with his producer, Vinny Poncia. This is a good album, guys. Give it a chance. Seriously. Really listen to it. It's very pop oriented. It's got a lot of jazz, pop, soul to it, which is what Peter was. He wasn't a rock and roll drummer. If you go back and listen to a lot of the early Kiss stuff, he doesn't play like a rock and roll drummer. He plays like a jazz drummer, doing rock and roll feels, and that's exactly what he is. People should give this album a better chance. It is a great album. Check it out. Peter Criss solo album, 1978.